You've got a massive project due tomorrow, so naturally, instead of opening your laptop to work, you are frantically deep cleaning your entire kitchen. When we do this, we tend to beat ourselves up. We assume we are just lazy or terrible at managing our time, but that is a complete myth. Science shows that putting things off is actually an emotional coping mechanism. Your brain is just trying to protect you from negative feelings, like anxiety, boredom, or the fear that you might fail. Researchers call this giving in to feel good. When a task feels awful, your brain prioritizes a quick mood boost right now, even if it completely wrecks all your long-term goals. Look at this brain diagram. The front area is your prefrontal cortex, the logical planner setting goals to succeed. Deeper inside is the limbic system, an emotional survivalist seeking immediate comfort. When tasks trigger anxiety, it hits the panic button, completely overpowering your logical brain. Because different things trigger that panic button for different people, procrastination doesn't look the same for everyone. It shows up in highly specific, personalized behaviors. Let's look at the first type, the perfectionist. These individuals are completely paralyzed by their own impossibly high standards. For a perfectionist, starting is terrifying. They delay because the thought of producing something flawed feels exactly like a personal failure. So they tweak the same paragraph for hours, or simply refuse to begin. This guarantees missed deadlines and keeps them trapped in a constant state of chronic anxiety. Closely related is the worrier. Instead of fearing an imperfect result, they are paralyzed by decision fatigue. They obsess over catastrophic what-if scenarios and freeze up before they can even make a choice. For both the perfectionist and the worrier, putting off the task is the brain's misguided attempt to prevent a disaster. It is a defense mechanism, shielding their ego from judgment. Next, we have the dreamer. This is someone who loves coming up with massive, brilliant ideas, but hates the practical steps to make them happen. They delay by waiting for inspiration to strike or for the perfect moment to begin. The gritty, everyday friction of doing the actual work simply feels too uncomfortable. Then there is the defier. This type intentionally ignores mandatory tasks assigned by a boss or a teacher, choosing to do trivial things instead. Why? Because they deeply resent being told what to do. Dragging their feet is a subconscious way to assert their independence. Whether you are avoiding the boredom of hard work, like the dreamer, or fighting off a sense of obligation, like the defier, the delay acts as an emotional shield to protect your comfort or your autonomy. Now let's meet the crisis maker. This is the classic student or worker who intentionally waits until the absolute last minute to start. This chart shows exactly what they rely on. They need that violent spike of adrenaline and stress hormones like cortisol to force their brain to focus. This habit comes with a heavy cost. It prevents thoughtful, high-quality work and locks them into a punishing cycle of extreme stress and physical burnout. Contrast that with the overdoer, also known as the busy procrastinator. They rapidly take on minor, easy tasks, like answering 50 low-priority emails, to justify avoiding the truly intimidating projects. Manufactured panic and frantic busyness are simply different methods for achieving the same goal, avoiding the emotional weight of an intimidating task. No matter which behavior you lean toward, every procrastinator is ultimately dodging an emotional discomfort. The profiles we've looked at are part of a broader, clinically recognized spectrum of procrastination styles. You can see them mapped out on this chart. The perfectionist, the dreamer, the worrier, the defier, the crisis maker, the overdoer, and the purposeful staller, all circling that central core of emotional avoidance. Putting a name to your specific behavior actually pulls the logical prefrontal cortex back into the conversation. This act of labeling forces your brain to look at your emotions objectively, which calms down the panic response and allows you to separate the task from the fear. So the next time you catch yourself scrubbing a clean kitchen instead of finishing that project, do not ask, "Why am I being lazy?" Instead, ask yourself, "Which type am I being right now?"